What's up, YouTube? What's up, guys and gals? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming back. If this is your first time watching this channel, my name is Matt Samolsky. I'm Matt the Car Guy. On this channel, I do car reviews. Today, I have this beautiful 2019 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack edition. And I'm really excited to share some of the cool features that I found on this vehicle. Now, this car belongs to a friend of mine. He agreed for me to film it and do a review of it. So I'll be gentle with it, but I'll take you on the tour of the exterior, interior. We're gonna check out what's underneath the hood, and that's special, as well as we're gonna take it for a spin. So if you're ready, let's go. All right, so right from the front, you can see that this is not just a regular Challenger. You can see that it's got the different hood, massive hood. Plus, it's got this nice hood scoop, plus those heat extraction vents right on top of the hood. I'll give you a close-up in just a little bit so you can see. Beautiful lights, LED lights. Now, these inner lights on this particular vehicles have the air intake, so they're hollow inside, and that allows the air to go in and cool that massive engine, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit. Also, part of this Scat Pack package is this nice spoiler right at the bottom. You can see it's basically like a race spoiler. It's got the fog lights underneath it, a bottom trim, black Challenger logo right inside of here, and the RT, because it's based off of the RT model, but it's got the different engine, and this one also has the manual transmission. Speaking about the engine, let me pop the hood open and I'll show you what's inside of here. All right, so what hides underneath this hood as a typical muscle car, it's got a huge engine. How big? It is a 6.4 liter V8 producing 485 horsepower, 475 foot-pounds of torque. It's made it to a 6-speed manual transmission on this one. It's also available with automatic transmission. And 0 to 60 is about 4.3 seconds. That's what's published. I know there's a lot of guys that's got it faster than this, but it looks amazing, it sounds amazing, and the only added option that you can see in this hood compartment is that strut tower support for extra rigidness of the vehicle, for extra stiffness. So you don't have to be fancy to scream muscle, powerful, and this is definitely an example of it. It's very simple design. You can see there's only one body line, very clean design on this. It's got the Scat Pack logo right on the side here. Now, part of this Scat Pack package is also, it does have a bigger brakes, because you need the bigger brakes to slow this beast down, and these are Brembo brakes actually. Now, a friend of mine upgraded the tires. It comes standard with 245s. I think they're a little bit too narrow for this vehicle, so he upgraded them to 275. Says it makes a huge difference in driving, and we're going to check that out. Again, body colored mirrors. There's no turn signals on the mirrors or anything like this, so we're going to move right on to the back of this vehicle right now. Right, so I like the back of this car a lot. Check this out. I mean, there's nothing very fancy about it, but first of all, the color of it. Come on. It's awesome. It's this lime green. I'm not sure what the technical term for it is, but it looks really good with that black spoiler, the black trim around the lights, and the LED lights kind of hidden on the inside. I mean, they do it kind of a retro design to go back to the Challengers from the 60s, which are super popular. Anyways, at the bottom of it, you have those two massive exhausts. You need those exhausts to get this power through this vehicle and out, and it sounds amazing. Matter of fact, I'm going to start it now to let you hear. Right, so let's face it, you're not buying a muscle car to carry a lot of cargo. You're buying a muscle car to race, to drive it. But this one's got a very nice trunk space. It's deep. Now, this one is reduced because he installed another brace, the strut brace, for the extra rigidness of this vehicle. And it just makes a lot of difference. We're going to check that out. I'm excited to check it out. Let's see what else is here. That is pretty much it. You do have an extra compartment right here, and that's where your battery is. So there's no battery in the front, and this is your flat pack. So this is your compressor if you have a flat tire. All right, really quick, let's take a look at this door. So you can see it's a big, nice, massive door, and it sounds like this. So it sounds awesome. Typical sports car, you know, there is no frame around the windshield. The windshield actually goes down and then goes up once you close the door. What else you have in here? Lock, unlock, your mirror controls, your window controls. Now it does come standard with the Alpine stereo, and it does have this kind of brushed aluminum door handle as well as a cup holder. Now what's nice about this car, let's check this out. Look at this. This one has cloth seats, so it doesn't have a lot of options, but you know, it does the most important one, which is the engine and the transmission, which is manual, which is super cool. But it's got the Scat Pack logo right here. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look and see what's on the inside. It is a very plain interior, I gotta tell you. I mean, it is very functional for what it is, but comparing to some of the vehicles we compared, it's relatively plain. So multifunction steering wheel, it is actually rather large steering wheel, and you do have your controls for the screen that's right in the middle, and then you have your, basically this is your cruise control right in here. So let's take a look at this instrument cluster and let's see what we have here. Left hand side, you get the tachometer. Right hand side, speedometer, goes to 180. In the middle, you have this information screen, and you could basically change that by going through the menu, so you can see the coolant temperature, oil pressure. That's the performance type of setup in here. Oil life, battery voltage, intake air temperature, engine torque, engine power, which if you're driving, you can see how much power the engine produces. That's your performance mode. So you have different drive modes as well. 0 to 60, recent is 8.6, so he wasn't really trying, I guess. Reaction time, let's see, 0 to 100 miles per hour timer, 1/8 of a mile, 1/4 of a mile, so braking distance. This is pretty cool. You get all of this from this performance vehicle. Wow, lap history, lap timer, top speed 112 miles. Well, I don't know why he did that. Let's not talk about it. And fuel economy, 11.4 miles per gallon. Trip info, offset, XM radio, and stuff like this. So this is your instrument cluster right here. Now it also has the big screen right here. And you know what's cool about it, I mean, it doesn't have the navigation, but it does have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So you can check your media, climate control. Let's lower it down a little bit. Let's cool it down. It's hot out here. It's getting late, and it is 84 outside. Controls, heated seats, heated steering wheel. You can check this out. Driver, passenger, you can connect your phone. You can change different settings. But what I really want to show you, because this is a sports car, right? So you have different drive modes, okay? And this is what you have. You have track, sport, custom, and auto. So if you go to track, it adjusts the dynamics of the vehicle to the track. So it stiffens the suspension, steering wheel is different, and you can change that track setup, okay? So traction, steering, you can set it up to track, sport, or street, and you can do a custom mode where you can mix it up if you'd like to. Sport, you know, steering, track, and sport. Custom, you can change it to whatever you want. And auto, it adjusts to the way that you're driving the vehicle and the conditions that you're driving the vehicle in. So that's really cool as well. Now, so this is the infotainment system. At the bottom of here, you have the power for the radio. You have the drive modes. You can you have the launch control, parking sensors off, traction control off, screen off. You can turn this off. Boom, on. This is for your radio, tune, scroll, that type of stuff. So you can control it right here. And this is for your AC. So this is for your climate control. 6-speed manual transmission. And this is cup holders, nicely profiled for the driver. Let's take this for a spin. Alright guys, so it's getting late, but I hope that the cameras are going to be able to capture the drive, and you're going to be able to see me. I'm now going to be able to hear me. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it for a spin really quick. We're going to see the acceleration. I'm going to check out the braking. I'm going to check out the turning radius. Now let's see. Does it have the rear view camera? Yes, it does. And, you know, it's not the greatest, but I mean, that's there. I don't think that the quality of this camera is great, but again, you know, for what you need in case you need to back into something. And you do need, by the way, the rear view camera on this vehicle, simply because, I mean, it does have the trunk that you don't see through the rear view mirror, or the side mirrors for that matter, or, well, you can see a little bit of a spoiler if you move back like this. But anyways, let's check out the turning radius. Actually, surprisingly good. I didn't think it was going to be that good. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 3/4. So yeah, it's, I mean, it's larger turning radius than some of the other cars. However, you got to take a look at this. I mean, look how massive the hood is. Look how long this vehicle is. It's got a pretty good turning radius for what it is. Stick shift, 6-speed manual transmission. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take this on the road right now. So you might be asking, what's a Scat Pack? And you know what? That's an awesome question, because I didn't know that either. And maybe you have a really good explanation, because what I found online, that a Scat Pack is basically a trim of this vehicle. It's lesser than the Hellcat, but it's more than the RT, and it's a sporty vehicle. It's got the 6.4 liter engine, so it's got the bigger engine. It's got the more powerful engine than the RT, but it does have the less powerful engine than the crazy Hellcat. If you have a good explanation of what the Scat Pack is, please drop it in the comment section below. Well, it actually does not feel as intimidating as I thought it would, especially, you know, for it being 6.4 liter engine. 6.4 liter, that's like how many Honda Civics? 4 Honda Civics, 1.6. I'm just gonna take it easy. Take it easy. Now, honestly guys, I have not driven this car before, so this is my first time driving it. As a matter of fact, I haven't even driven this vehicle to the parking lot that I shot this video of, because I was dropped off there, so I was there already. And I gotta tell you, it sounds amazing. Just the sound of it makes it fast. I'm sure it is too. It's been a while since I've driven a stick shift car. Yeah. People say it's kind of like riding a bike. Once you learn it, you'll never forget it. And I learned how to drive on the stick shift. Let me rev it up a little. I know why people buy it. This is one of those vehicles where you know, and he explained to me that he purposely did not really want any of this fancy features on it, because he was buying it for the engine and for the performance of this vehicle, for the drive and for the fun of driving. So, I mean, yes, you can have this vehicle equipped the way you want it. You can have, you know, the leather interior on it. You can have some nicer wheels. You know, these wheels are actually super nice, and he upgraded them with the different tires on them. So you can actually have this white body kit, which looks amazing, but it's another $5,000. So if you want to spend the money, go for it. Now these, you know, they start at about $40,000 MSRP, but you can really go crazy with it and equip it to maybe almost like $60,000. So that's a lot of money, but that's a lot of power as well. Now 4.1 or 4.3 might not seem like a whole lot, especially in today's day and age. Now we've tested the Tesla, that's 3 seconds, you know, 0 to 60. A couple of BMWs, you know, in about 4-second ranges. Some of the performance vehicles that I've done, they're quicker than this, but there's a certain market for it. There's actually people who are buying this because they're Mopar fans. There's people that are buying Camaros because they're Chevy fans or GM fans, or people that are Mustang fans. And I can appreciate every single one of them because each of those cars have something to offer. And driving this, you can feel the power of it. You can feel like it's the true American muscle car. You know, someone asked in the video that I watched not too long ago, not about this car, but in general about the V8, and the question was, why are V8 so popular in the United States and really not everywhere else in the world? And you know, the answer was that, hey, you know, they couldn't produce as much power from the smaller engines, so they started getting those bigger and bigger displacements. Now, by the way, this is not a supercharged, this is not a turbo engine, this is naturally aspirated 6.4 liter V8. But I think the truth is, behind those V8s, yes, part of it was because they couldn't get enough power of the V6s or the 6-cylinder engines. But at the same time, it was also because the gasoline was so cheap, nobody cared if it's a V8 or 12-cylinder for that matter. So yeah, the reaction time on this car, now, it's naturally aspirated, so you'd think that it would get the power right away, and it does have kind of a little bit of a lag. I'm not sure why. Maybe I don't know how to drive it yet, but we're gonna take it on the I'm gonna take this on the expressway. We'll get it up to speed and see how it handles. But so far, like I said, my concern was getting into this car that I was going to be kind of intimidated by the power of it and by the size of the engine, and I haven't driven a muscle car in a long time, and really not. that you could see on these cameras. I like the short shifter on it. It feels very nice in this car. Too bad this truck is in front of us. See if we can get this up to speed. Feels really nice. It holds on to the road nicely. I can see why the strut supports, the strut braces were installed. I mean, you can almost feel like this vehicle would be a lot looser if it didn't have them, but you're gonna be better off checking them out on the corners. One thing that I gotta tell you, that if you want to have conversation in this car, you better have it on the expressway, not at the full speed, because as soon as you hit that acceleration, that rumble, that roar is right inside the car. That's not a bad thing. That's actually pretty cool. So we're going to be able to check out that rigidness of this vehicle, and a little bit of the agility as far as turning, because there's going to be a few turns coming up. And I can tell you, I can see the difference in the front end with that strut brace, with that strut support, is not all over the place. And obviously we're going into a turn. I mean, it holds on to the road really nice. Most of the muscle cars are known from their 0 to 60, eighth of a mile, quarter mile, and that's what they're made for. They're really not made for rallies or for turns, and this is not an exception. I mean, it's a big car, it's a fairly heavy car, it's got a great engine, great sound, great performance, but I would say that if you took it on the road with something that's smaller, more agile, and you put it on the like Nürburgring, it would have a hard time competing, and there's no mystery on that. But like I said, there's a market for everything, for everybody. It's a great vehicle. To sum it all up, fun factor, yes. Looks, yes. Drive, yes. So I'll give it a thumbs up. And guys, if you like watching videos like this, if you like talking about cars, hopefully you can see me because it's pretty darn dark in here. But if you like talking about cars, please hit like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Cheers.